After the bodies of 6 Israeli hostages were found in a Gaza tunnel on Saturday night, the nation of Israel went into mourning. Unfortunately, during this war, the IDF has found many bodies of hostages while operating in the Gaza Strip. This time, however, the autopsies concluded that the hostages were executed just days before the IDF got to them. This tragedy has caused many Israelis to go into hysteria, taking to the streets and demanding that the government of Israel sign a hostage deal immediately, whatever the conditions. It has also caused world leaders to redouble their efforts to negotiate a hostage deal to release the rest of the hostages. The problem is, a hostage deal just might be the worst possible outcome for the Gaza war. Stay tuned, I'm Josiah, and this is the Israel Guys. Sunday morning, we woke up to some tragic news that the IDF had found the bodies of 6 Israeli hostages in an underground tunnel in Rafah. The 6 murdered hostages were identified as Hersh Goldberg, Poland, age 23, Edin Yerushalmi, age 24, Almog Sarusi, age 25, Alexander Lobanov, age 32, Carmel Gat, age 40, and Master Sergeant Uri Danino, aged 25. All 6 of these hostages were kidnapped alive on October 7th in 2023 and have spent the last 11 months in captivity, suffering hunger, abuse, and torture. The IDF spokesperson Daniel Hagari's statement was this: "A few hours ago, we informed the families that the bodies of their loved ones had been located by IDF troops in an underground tunnel in Rafah. According to our initial assessment, they were brutally murdered by Hamas terrorists shortly before we reached them. They were abducted alive on the morning of October 7th by the Hamas terror organization. Their bodies were found during combat in Rafah in an underground tunnel, approximately 1 kilometer from the tunnel from which we rescued Farhan al-Qadi a few days ago. Since Farhan's identification, the forces have been instructed to act with extra caution, even more so than usual, understanding that there might be additional hostages in the area. We did not have information on the exact location of the hostages. Combat was ongoing above ground, and the troops eliminated terrorists even during the battles there yesterday. The troops are still operating in the field at this time." Israel's Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, said this, quote, "Together with the entire nation, my wife and I share in the family's deep mourning. I would like to express deep appreciation for our forces, for the brave IDF soldiers and Shin Bet fighters who risked their lives in order to return our sons and daughters. I say to Hamas terrorists who murdered our hostages, and I say to their leaders, you will pay the price. We will not rest, nor will we be silent. We will pursue you, we will find you, and we will settle accounts with you."
It says, "I will bring you in from the 4 corners of the earth, and people will know that you are my people and that I am your God."
Discover for yourself the miracle of the land and the courageous hearts of the people of Israel.
I am 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 Israel.
Visit IamIsraelFilm.com to begin your journey.
Available now on DVD, Blu-ray, and digital download, I Am Israel is an epic film that will take you on a cinematic journey through the land of the Bible. You'll meet Jewish men and women whose very lives are a testimony to the promises of God. And you'll see with your very own eyes the miraculous rebirth of the Promised Land. Screened in over 10,000 congregations worldwide, it's an award-winning film about Israel made for followers of Jesus. Visit the IamIsraelFilm.com, IamIsraelFilm.com to begin your journey, or just click the link down in the description below. Not only has the news of these murdered hostages sparked mourning and outrage here in Israel, but several world leaders have made statements on this tragic news, one of whom was Joe Biden. One of the Israeli hostages that was killed was also an American citizen, Hersh Goldberg, Poland, causing President Biden to express outrage at this news. He said in a statement, quote, "We have now confirmed that one of the hostages killed by these vicious Hamas terrorists was an American citizen, Hersh Goldberg, Poland. I am devastated and outraged. Hersh was among the innocents brutally attacked while attending a music festival for peace in Israel on October 7th. He lost his arm helping friends and strangers during Hamas's savage massacre." Later in the statement, President Biden went on to say, quote, I have worked tirelessly to bring their beloved Hirsch safely to them, and am heartbroken by the news of his death. It is as tragic as it is reprehensible. Make no mistake, Hamas leaders will pay for these crimes, and we will keep working around the clock for a deal to secure the release of the remaining hostages. The problem with this statement: I have something to say to you, Mr. President Joe Biden of the United States of America. No, you are in fact dead wrong. If you secure a ceasefire deal to release the remaining hostages that are held in Gaza, the leaders of Hamas will not indeed pay for their crimes like you say. That is a complete oxymoron, because every deal that you, the President of the United States, have presented to Israel and Hamas in the past, including the one you are working on right now, includes a lifeline for the terror organization of Hamas. A lifeline, keeping them alive, letting them survive as a terror organization. If you negotiate with terrorists, you are rewarding them for their crimes. Unfortunately, here in Israel, the news of the murder of these hostages has caused many Israelis to take to the streets in hysteria, demanding Israel's government sign a hostage deal right away, no matter the conditions. Thousands of Israelis took to the streets yesterday, blocking highways and intersections. The head of the labor union in Israel, the Histadrut, declared a nationwide strike on Monday, today, remarking, quote, "We're receiving body bags instead of a deal." The problem is, even though it's very hard to say, and even though these protesters are not saying this explicitly, and I believe many of them do not even realize this, but these protesters are, in essence, saying that Israel should surrender to Hamas. It's that simple. By signing a deal, Israel would first off give Hamas exactly what they want, because the reason Hamas took hostages in the first place was to force Israel either into a ceasefire or the release of thousands of dangerous Palestinian terrorists from Israeli prisons, or even both, which has been on the table in these ceasefire deals. Even though it is very, very difficult to say this because of the hostages still held in Gaza, the ones who are alive, that is, being held brutally in these Gaza tunnels, I believe it needs to be said. Because if Israel were to give Hamas what they want for the release of these hostages, it would put a bounty on the head of every Jewish person in the world. It would send a clear message to Arab terrorists across the globe, wherever they are, that kidnapping Jews works. Why do you think that Hamas kidnapped Israelis on October 7th? Because Israel has participated in really bad hostage deals in the past, showing Hamas that kidnapping works. One of the best examples I can think of a bad hostage deal that Israel has participated in was the 2011 Gilad Shalit deal. Israel released 1,027 Palestinian terrorists from Israeli prisons for the return of one kidnapped soldier, Gilad Shalit. Now, we're happy he's home with his family, but Israel released 1,027 killers back onto the streets, able to do whatever they want to Jews again. One of those terrorists was Yahya Sinwar, who was the mastermind behind the October 7th massacre. Now, Yahya Sinwar saw that Israel valued life so highly that they would do anything to return one of their own back home, which is why he instructed the terrorists of October 7th to take as many hostages as possible. It's not because Hamas valued life. We saw clearly in the massacre that Hamas values no life, especially Jewish life. They took hostages in order to wheel and deal and get them out of any pressure that Israel might be putting on them. The only way to show Hamas that murdering Israeli citizens and taking Israeli hostages is absolutely unacceptable is either to hunt down every last terrorist in the Gaza Strip and eliminate them, which is virtually almost impossible, or to dismantle Hamas's structure so completely that they will never be able to rebuild their terror regime. Guys, thanks so much for watching today's show. Please make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode of the Israel Guys. Please remember to pray for the families of the hostages who were just killed, and continue to pray for Israel's leaderships that the people in charge, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the defense minister, they would be able to make the best decisions possible that will put this threat of terror to end once and for all in the Gaza Strip. Guys, don't forget to check out the I Am Israel film. Click the link down in the description below and let me know what you think down in the comments below. We love interacting with you guys down there. As always, stop listening to the lies and propaganda and connect to the truth of what is happening in Israel. We'll be back soon here at the Israel Guys.